Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday Live. I'm Bethany Zell. I'm the program director for Healthy You at Carey Medical Center. And I am joined today by my colleague, Beth Singer, who is the project coordinator for the age-friendly Caribou initiative that we have going on to try and make our communities a little bit more age-friendly. And that doesn't necessarily mean senior age, it means all ages. As we age, we might need more resources, regardless of whether we're elderly or in our middle age years. So Beth, why don't you tell us a little bit about this Tech Talk, program that you've been doing with the Age Friendly program, and what is that all about?
Well, as part of a program that we were invited to, which was a living or healthy living fellowship program for advising people and working with people on aging well. We were part of this fellowship program, and we created a Tech Talk program in response to this. And so the Tech Talk program is something where we can meet with people one-on-one. It's not just like a seminar where we all are in one, big room or something. It's a one-on-one, and you can bring the device that you have, whether it's a cell phone, a laptop, a tablet, and we can, work with you and walk you through those devices. So recently we've had a few programs, and I've been meeting with people and sitting with them it can be as long, like at least up to an hour, or, if you only have a couple questions, it can be short. But yeah, I have sat with people, for an hour, sometimes even longer, helping them learn how to use their phones or their tablets, and, downloading apps for them, or showing them, basic things like how do you, update your profile picture on Facebook, or how can I make the font larger so that I can read it better, or just different things that you can do, different settings that you can use, and also some ways where they can make their devices a little bit more secure. But one of the things that's great about it is more of a personal touch, because it's not just going and sitting in a seminar, or listening to people talk in general about devices, because our devices can be very different. You can have an Apple phone or a Galaxy phone, or a Pixel phone, and they all do different things. So we can just sit and answer your specific questions and help you learn how best to use your device to stay connected.
And that's awesome because I know, as the pandemic has progressed, people are using technology more.
Mhm.
And for a few months, at least, some of our older populations were feeling a little bit left behind. So it's awesome that we're offering this and making these devices and technology more accessible because, I know you're highlighting a lot about how technology can help. And so maybe you can talk a little bit about that, like how people are using technology. What kinds of things are they how are they struggling to utilize it, and what are they utilizing it for?
Yeah, well, one of the participants came in. He's like, I just want to know how to, send photos through text message to my brother. And so we were practicing taking photos and sending his brother pictures. And then we were, he's like, I want to send this picture. And he's like, okay, And also he uses WhatsApp, which is a video chat program to chat with his granddaughter. And so, there are, programs like FaceTime and WhatsApp, and even, Facebook Messenger has video chat capability. And, and it's a great way to be able to keep in touch with people and feel a little bit more connected than just talking on the phone, because you get to see their faces. And, it's like with my parents when they talk to my kids, and my kids have the phone and they're running around the house and look at this and look at that and look at this. And it makes them a little motion sickness, because the phone's like, whoa, but it is a great social connection. But also with some of these programs, like Facebook, they have groups that you can join. And you can join a group, like say you love gardening. Well, there's a Aroostook County, there's a gardening group that I'm a part of, where I can helps me learn a little bit more about gardening up here, with whether it's flowers or vegetables. There's also groups that can connect you if you like to go hiking, or if you like to If you like to read books, there's one that I get emails from. It's a wine and book pairing. They suggest different books and a different type of wine to go with it. Not that we're suggesting, wine, but every now and then, but it's just something that's fun, that connects you with people and helps you feel a little bit more a part of the community. But also, our, city council meetings are virtual. And so if you want to feel like you're a part of the community that way, there's education. There's so many classes that you can take and learn, if you want to learn how to knit or even get a degree, you can do all of that virtually. Also, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I know a lot of things have become virtual, and I know you mentioned the town meetings, and unfortunately, some populations who either don't have that technology access or are afraid and not really sure how to navigate a Zoom meeting or get onto a WebEx, they're missing out on some of those opportunities. And so it's great that you're doing practical things, hands-on things to help people access these resources that have now been transferred into a different way of delivery than what people are used to with all the face-to-face things. And I know as we go back to things opening up, there's still going to be a lot that's kind of that hybrid model where they're offering it in person or online. And of course, with our Maine winters being so unpredictable, having that is fantastic because, one snowstorm can ruin an event, if you put all that time and energy into planning and it's terrible traffic day, then, being able to hop online is an awesome alternative. And although, everyone wants to be face-to-face, it doesn't always work out that way, especially up here in our rural parts of the state.
Oh yeah, we definitely see this continuing even after, COVID starts to let up more. And then one of the things I was going to segue into is it's also great for health and health tracking. There are apps and programs that you can keep track of, your health, how many steps that you've walked, and what medications you take. And then you can, when you go to the doctor, you can pull up your phone and say, oh yeah, I'm taking these medications and this is the dosage. There's pharmacies you can go right on. You click to refill and to get a text message saying your prescription's ready. It's really made some things very convenient for us. But also, one of the things with us being so rural is we do have access to some excellent healthcare options up here. Of course, we're a little partial to Cary, but since we work here, but we have options, and but sometimes too we are a little bit limited when it comes to some of the specialists or specific types of care that we might not have here. And so telemedicine is also another big thing. So if you have a specialist that's in Portland, and you can maintain a connection with them through these telemedicine meetings, you're not having to drive all the way to Portland every time. And so maybe once in a while you have to make the trip down versus every single time. And even some of our providers up here do telemedicine, which is great because if it's just a medication check, just checking in, like how's the new medication working for you? Oh, it's great. Then you don't have to go and go into the office. And especially with COVID, we didn't want to risk possibly getting exposed. And so telemedicine really kind of took off, and I see that as getting even bigger, as an option, because it is, for us it's great. We can just someone in Bangor, you just give them a call just like this, and you're just like, hi. You can even you're like, I have something weird with my eye, and they can see some of that stuff. But there are some tips and tricks too for having a good telemedicine appointment. And so that's something that we're hoping to do in the future, is maybe partner with one of the doctors at Pines Health Center to do a seminar, and we can even do like some practice stuff with Zoom, like how do you log into Zoom, how best to prepare for a telemedicine appointment, because when you go to the doctor, what is the first thing they do? They take your blood pressure, you get on the scale, are these some things that you should have ready? Not all of us can take our own blood pressure, but we can at least get on the scale, take our temperature, maybe have some things, ready to go so that we can be, efficient with our telemedicine appointments. But
Yeah, we
also,
definitely want to be mindful of the time that the
yeah.
provider has with us and not get off on tangents. I know sometimes it's easier to feel more like you're having a conversation when you're in a telehealth meeting as opposed to being in that sterile environment of the office. And so it can sometimes, I guess you have to work a little harder to stay focused on the topic at hand when you're doing telemedicine. But it's true. We actually accessed, my husband and I both actually accessed some telehealth appointments through the pandemic, and just seeing how it happens now at home. When I first moved back to the county, I had a telehealth medicine meeting for my daughter, and we actually had to go to the doctor's office here in Caribou, and they had that telehealth thing set up there in the office. So seeing how the pandemic has really shifted everything home, it's even more accessible than ever before. So thank you
Yeah.
for taking the time to have these programs. So do you have any more coming up? Are these things that are happening regularly? Are you going to be scheduling some more? What's on the docket?
Well, we have one scheduled for tomorrow from 3 to 5. And we do recommend that people make an appointment so that way we can ensure that we have a volunteer on hand to, sit with you. And also, one of the things we have been partnering with the library here in Caribou. That's where we've been holding the meetings because they have, Wi-Fi that's free and accessible. Because up here we don't always have access, with internet. And the library is a great place to go if you just need access to some free Wi-Fi. But also continuing with our partnership with them and the telemedicine program, Cary Medical Center recently received a donation of some tablets. And so now those tablets are going to live at the library. And we purchased some headsets and little stands and things like that so people can go to the library and use a tablet and the headset and be like down in the Caribou room or somewhere where it's a little bit more private, and you can have a telemedicine appointment. And so that's what we're going to do right now with those. And even though we're age friendly for everybody, so anybody at any age can do this. So we're starting off a little bit slow by just offering that if you want to have a telemedicine appointment, but you might not have internet or you might not have a device, you can go to the library here in Caribou and they can help you get all set up and with that, which we think is just a great program. And then as we move further along, we might do some more things where we loan out the tablets. So then you might be able to then participate with maybe one of the area agency on aging programs where they have a lot of virtual programs. Some of them, are like their bone builders, some exercise programs. What is it? The bingo exercise. And so that way, you can borrow the tablet during the time that you're taking that class. And then when you're done, you can return it. And then that way people are sharing, and being able to benefit from having some of this access to technology.
I love it. I love how
Yeah.
we're breaking down the barriers for people, like just trying to bridge the gap and fill in where people are needing things. So this is great.
Yeah. And like you said, for the Tech Talks, we have one tomorrow, but then throughout the summer, we're going to offer them at different times. I try to flex the times, so some of them are in the morning, some might be in the afternoon, or some in the evening. That way we can meet a variety of schedules for people. And hopefully in the summer at the end of the summer, when the school year kicks off, we might be able to make it a little bit bigger and better. We're hoping to get some volunteers from the high school, because those are, the high school kids, they're the experts. If there's
They know
something new
everything
out
that you
there,
need to
they
know
know how to
about
do it.
everything when it comes to technology. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't figure out half the stuff on my phone, but my teenager knows it all.
Yeah, I know. Even my kid, my boys are 11, and when they were really little, they were like trying to order stuff on Amazon. So it's amazing how quickly they adapt. And then there's some of us are like, wait, okay, what is this Snapchat thing? I don't understand. Yeah, so we can have that partnership. I think that it'll really be amazing. So we're hoping to make this bigger and better. And then also if people who might have feel like you don't have to be a super expert, but if you just kind of know some of the ins and outs of using, the cell phones or stuff like that, we're always open to getting volunteers as well.
Awesome. And I know in the beginning we talked about a few little tips and tricks, but I know we were actually also mentioning some security issues. And just to share a brief story that seems to be happening more and more frequently, it feels like you and I both got a friend request from a mutual friend of ours that we were already, we thought, friends with.
Mhm.
And I've been seeing that happening so often now. I'm getting friend requests on specifically on Facebook, or sometimes I'll get messages that come through Instagram into my Facebook Messenger from accounts that look like my friend, but I'm already friends with this person. And so I let them know I've got this request from you. Is this real? And then they're worried that they've been hacked. And, most people are like, oh, just change your password. It's fine. And it'll be all good. Is that the case? Like, what's really happening with those little, I like to call them parallel profiles, because my friend is still there in her real profile, but then there's this other parallel profile of her with her photo. So what's happening there?
Well, first, I would reach out to your friend directly and make sure that it is them, because sometimes, like as in the case with my mother-in-law, she had like several Facebook accounts because she kept forgetting her password and she didn't know how to reset her password. So it was in fact her; it was legit. But if somebody has problems with that, you can maybe contact them. Let me help you, reset your password so you don't have multiple accounts. But no, what really with those types of situations, and we see them going more and more, is that somebody is really, they're copying your photos and then they're looking at your friends list, and then they are sending these requests to your friends. And then what will happen is if they create this other, like you said, parallel account, then they use that as a way to kind of, in some ways they can scam them, or they send them, oh, here's this great offers, or and then they might think it's you and you're the one that's saying, hey, let's all send our information and social security numbers to this company, and that's not really what should be happening. And so that's something that we can show you right now. I'm going to share my screen. So,
Yeah, and while you're pulling that up, yeah, because
mm-hmm.
if they're creating this profile in your friend's resemblance, when we, especially on Facebook, our profile photo is open to anybody who gets onto Facebook, and most of the time our cover photo also. So people can just save those to their computers and use them to set up an account that looks just like yours, but it's not your actual account. So why don't you show us how we can protect ourselves and our friends when
Okay,
that
so
happens?
here I'm on Facebook and I clicked on, if you can see, I'll go back. I'll try to, I know sometimes I can go a little fast. And I say this too to the people that I work with in my tech talks. I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. Feel free to ask me questions and I can repeat. But usually when you pull up Facebook, you see this is your feed. And so you're going to, see stuff that people posted, like my cousin, she's selling some chairs, and then stories, and then what you might be interested in. But over here, you can see where you can click on your specific profile. So this is mine. And then here, if we see these little three dots, usually when you have like the three little dots, or there's three little lines that we might call like the hamburger, that's usually where you can get to a menu. And these menus can give you some, various things, like this one here. We have view as, search profile, account status, archive, some of this other stuff. But I'm trying to see. First, what I will do is I will show you, this is called view as. So when you click on that, you can see this content on your profile is set to public. So anything that I have here, and you'll see on this view, is what everybody else can see. One of the things you'll note where it says friends, see all friends, I have mine locked, so they can't see who my friends are. My photos, my photos that are public are the ones that are my profile or my banner photos. And then also if you share from another site, sometimes that's public. That'll just be, oh, okay. I don't know why that said it was disabled, but yeah. And so that's like, this is something I shared. So that's not something I can make private. And then like this, you know, if you wanted to be an intern with us, this was a couple of years ago, that was something that I made public. And so these are, for me, I try to keep it locked down as best as I can. One of the things I don't share is I don't share my birthday. I don't, like, I do have where I live, but I don't share where I graduated from. You know, a lot of these other things that, you know, people can then glean a lot of information from you. What I have it set to is I have it set to where my friends can see that kind of thing, but not the public. So the public can see that I live in Woodland. And then here's, you know, some of my profile pictures. And that's about it. So then we'll go back to.
And that's important too, because yeah, the more information that a stranger has access to, you know, like your friends list, they can, you know, if they know who your friends are, they know who trusts you, you know, and so they could set up an account in your name and start messaging the people that they know are your Facebook friends and try and hook them in and say, okay, these people know her and maybe they'll do what she says.
Yeah.
And so by protecting your friends list, you know, you're not giving them any ammunition. So they're not going to bother setting up a fake profile for you if they don't know who trusts you, you know.
Yeah.
They could try, but they're going to just send it out to random people and hope that maybe somebody knows you or trusts you. But without that access, you're limiting what they can do.
Yeah. So like one of the things I showed, like if you go to your photos and then you go to your albums, now your profile pictures, Facebook requires that to be public. But what I do, because this was my old profile picture and it was still popping up as public. So let's see, I gotta move. If you go here, that's me and one of my little chickens. And here again, we have our three little dots. And you go to edit audience. Instead of it being on public, I change it to friends. And so, yeah, it automatically, you can also do like friends accept if you don't want certain people to see it, or specific friends, only me. And so you can get a kind of nitty gritty with that, or if you only want it to be in certain groups that you have. But I usually just set mine to friends. And so now only my friends can see my chicken. And then there's all my other photos. And I make sure that with my profile picture, my cover photos, I do the same. And then if we go back to my main page, go to edit profile. Let's see. If you go to edit your about info, this is where you're going to see some of the stuff. You know, these are friends requests. Here you can edit your privacy. Now, if you're doing this on your cell phone, the way you get to this is a little bit different. So for me, navigating this a little bit, because I was showing my mom how to do this the other day and it was on her phone. But really, you want to look at who can see my friends list. Your friends is who I have it set to. Following, who can see the people or pages that you follow? Only my friends. Who can see your followers on your timeline? I'm going to change that here to friends. So that's what you do. You just click on this.
Can you click on the friends, the option? Oh, so those are the options. So the same as the photos, when you click on that friends, you have the option to make it so that only you see who your friends are. You can customize, like if you really just want it to be a core group of people, you can do that, or you can trust, generally speaking, all the people that you've already approved as your friends on Facebook. But if it's open to the public, that means anybody who happens upon your profile can get any public photo that you have, like you just shared, or They can see your friends list. So,
Yeah.
you can protect the people that you care about the most and reduce your risk of being, duplicated online. Again, if
Mhm.
you don't give them ammunition or people that they can try and scam, then they're less likely to touch you or touch your profile.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. And unfortunately, Facebook doesn't necessarily make it um, easy to find. You kind of have to dig to find some of these things, and you might not even realize these are options. But anytime there's a privacy thing, I usually try to limit it to just either my friends or, maybe only me. So I know that if you want, especially with your friends list, if you want to be especially cautious, you can, click only me, and then no one will be able to see who you're friends with. Um, I keep my friends so they can see other friends, and because I'm friends, most of my friends are family. So and I never friend someone that I don't know. um and then if I
That's a
see
great tip. That
yeah.
is a great tip. And if by chance, like I know some people professionally might have to add some people,
Hmm.
create a separate friend list for that group that has very more restrictive access to your information or your friends list, where like they had a little section instead of only you or friends or
Yeah.
public, you could customize completely. You
Mhm.
can add certain people, like don't show this one person anything in my
Yeah.
profile. Like you can literally narrow it right down to that. So like sometimes I'll have to friend people, like if I'm selling something on Facebook or something and they're trying to communicate with me through Messenger. Once you add them on once you accept their message, it kind of gives them a little more access to you. So you can pretty easily put them on a different list that continues to keep them at arm's length with your information.
Yeah. Now, with most people that I'm working with, especially with the Tech Talk programs, these are people that, are probably retired, and, really they just want to keep in touch with friends and family. And so some of that stuff you don't have to worry about. But I definitely, like we said, I caution, don't become friends with someone you don't know. If you do see a friend request from someone and you're already friends with them, don't accept that friend request. Message them or even text or call them and say, hey, I got a request from you. So that way they can let Facebook know that someone is, trying to mirror their profile. And then that's when, too, you can go in and make sure that your stuff is secure. Because, like, I
Yeah,
know
and I know
I
you
have,
can, it's hard to, you can never talk to a human at Facebook, but
no.
they're pretty good about like reporting. If you go into that profile, there's like a report this profile thing, and it'll ask you like, who is it? Who do you think this profile is imitating? And you can actually link them to the correct. And that's what happened with our mutual friend just a few weeks ago. And Facebook shut that side one down pretty darn quick in
Yeah.
response to us reporting it.
Hmm.
So, always note that. Sometimes I like to be a little silly, not really silly, but I'll be mean about it. And I'll text them and be like, how do I know you?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I want to see like, will
Yeah.
they write me back? And what are they going to say? How do you know me? And, and I had one actually just a few weeks ago from my mother on a whole nother platform that I like. It came from Instagram to my messenger, and it was from my mom, who's not on Instagram and is hardly able to navigate some of the Facebook details. So I was like, oh mom, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were on Instagram. I messaged the person back, and that account shut down in like minutes. And I was like, yeah, don't imitate my mom, please.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and like here you can see these are like, this is what I can see personally, and these are my friends. And then here, it's usually good not to have your workplace. I have where I went to college, but as set to just my friends. Woodland, where I live, is public. Um, it says pending. That means my husband hasn't confirmed that we're married. But that's just for my friends. My mobile phone is locked to just me. Of course, you guys are all seeing it now, so if you give me a call, then it's okay. It's but here's like some of the stuff that you can look at. Also, too, like a while back when I first started, I would put like books that I read, different apps or things, and I don't do that anymore. And actually, I wanted to go through and clean that out because some of that is just more information that they have on you.
Yeah, I've heard even some of those like little games and things that people play where you copy and
Yeah.
paste and fill in like your favorite foods and favorite, and they're like, you just gave everybody all of your password clue answers, you know? Um, and I had never
Yeah.
thought of it that way. It always, I used to do those a long time ago, and I always was like, oh, it's so much fun and learning about
Mhm.
my friends. But then I realized like you're feeding that information out into the world, and people now know that you have a dog named Barney or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they know all about you. So,
Yeah.
be very, very cautious. Even, unfortunately, we got to be cautious even with the people on our friends list
Mhm.
sometimes. So, just be very realizing that whatever you put out there could be seen by multiple people. And
Mhm.
now, I mean, takes a second to take a screenshot of something. So, even if somebody just sees something of yours in passing, that can live on perpetually with screenshots.
Yeah, and then there are some apps like I had mentioned. I'm gonna stop sharing now, so we don't have to keep staring at all the things that I like on Facebook. But and there are like what is it, Snapchat is supposed to be like you take a quick photo and you send it to your friends and then it automatically deletes after a certain amount of time. So people were thinking, oh, this is safe, I could send, and we had kids that were sending photos that were not appropriate, that could really ruin reputation and stuff. But it's still, even though the app might delete it, like you said, you can take a screenshot of it, you can save it to your phone. Nothing is going to go away once it's out in cyberspace, it's out there. So don't ever share anything that you don't potentially want other people to see. um, and
Yeah, and I was
then
gonna say the same too. Like I've had, friends or older relatives like comment on a post, and you think it's a private dialogue, and so they're like, "Oh yeah, just call me at whatever," and post their
yeah.
phone number, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, take that down. Don't put your phone number or your address or
Mhm.
email address anywhere in the comments, or like that kind of stuff should always go into a private message and never on your Facebook or Instagram walls
Mhm.
or news feed. I don't know anything about Snapchat. I don't know what it's called over there. So I think those are private ish messages. I have no idea. But
They
that
yeah.
kind of stuff, you don't want to
Mhm.
put that out on your wall, even if it's
Mhm.
only viewable to your friends. You just never know. Like even sending an email and having 25 recipients on the email list, that puts those emails at risk of being taken. You never know who's going to forward your email with all those addresses, and that could be gathered and create more of the spam that I'm constantly trying to get rid of out of my inbox. So just be very, very mindful about what you put out and where. And
Yeah.
if you ever are wondering, don't, if you're ever thinking or curious or saying maybe I shouldn't, if you feel a check, don't do it. Just find an alternate way to get that information to where it needs to go.
Mhm. And that's especially important with us working at Carrier Medical Center and with Pines Hill Services is we share a lot of great information on the Carrie and Pines Facebook pages, but sometimes we have people, with, they just have, good intentions. They just want to reach out to us. And as soon as we monitor closely, and if somebody does post something that it should be a little bit more private, we immediately hide or delete that and then message them directly. But also don't send stuff to your doctor or the hospital through Facebook Messenger. That's not secure. So like sometimes we'll see, oh, I have an appointment with this doctor at this time, here's my phone number, here's my what I'm being seen for. We've even had people who Will put their social security number in. And like, oh, don't do that. If you want to reach us, you can feel free to message us. We'll talk to you, but don't give us your personal information. It's not secure through Facebook. And then even if you email, it's best not to give real specific personal information. We can
Yeah,
figure out who
because
you are, and we'll help you and we'll guide you. But yeah, we don't need to know all those details because we don't want other people to get access to it as well.
yeah, and the people monitoring social media accounts or website form receipts, those are not the people who need that information.
No.
Like
Yeah.
to be honest, Beth and I, we're the ones. If you message on Facebook to Caribou Medical Center or Pines Health Services, we're the ones getting your message. So we don't know how to help you with a fever at 2 o'clock in the morning or any kind of medical issue that's happening. We're going to try and help point you in the right direction. And the same with our, contact forms through our websites. Those all come through us and we redirect. So yeah, save the private information for the people who really need it and can help you, because we're just going to help you get to where it needs to go. But you don't want your information in too many people's hands. And I mean, I can tell you that Beth and I are trustworthy because we're not out there giving out your private messages to other people or doing anything nefarious with that information. But
We
that's
don't
us. And I
know.
can speak for our organizations, but you never know any organization that you're messaging on social media or sending emails to. Just always be protective of your information.
Mhm. Yes, but on the flip side with that, Cary and Pines, and I know some of the other hospitals and stuff up here have patient portals, like the My Health Record. Now, those are specifically designed to be secure. They have super security infrastructure in place. And so that is safe place to put your information and message your doctor. And that's actually the best option. So, if you are, feel like you want to talk directly with your doctor, through that digital way, then let us know and we'll help you get set up with your patient portal. But that's one of the the great things, though, like we said, with technology, is you can use your portal to stay in touch with your doctor, see your vitals, manage medications. And then also there's there's a whole wonderful world of stuff, and it shouldn't, we don't want to make you afraid, especially when it comes to things like Facebook and all that. We just want people to be cautious and know how to properly use this technology, because it can be so beneficial, and especially in a time when we are still a little leery about going out. We know some stuff's opening up a little bit more, which is great, and we're able to meet in person. But also when it comes to if we have to cross over into other states and stuff, it might just be better just to stay home and to Zoom instead of going out. But the stuff, like we said too, is probably not going away. So it's best to kind of learn how to use it, learn how to be safe, and if you need help, then that's what we're here for with our Tech Talk program.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. And I know we kind of got off on some tangents here, and I hope this has been helpful for everyone. I know, we've got some more opportunities for one-on-one tech talk with our age-friendly Caribou program. And how can they get in touch with you if they want to set up a time to do that?
Well, you can call me here at Cary Medical Center. It's 498-1632, or you can email me at esinger@carymed.org.
Awesome. And I will put that information in the description of the video. Thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing more people online in safe ways and not being intimidated by the technology as we go forward with this program. So thank you for all you're doing. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
And for those who are joining us as viewers, we will see you back on the second and fourth Wednesday in July as we talk about and explore outdoor wellness all through the month of July, connecting with the great outdoors and how that can help us be healthier, stronger people. So we'll see you back at the next Wellness Wednesday Live. Have a great day.
Mm-hmm.